Alright guys, welcome back to Rogue Mystic Divination, and this is going to be a new series called What the Hell. Now, with What the Hell, we're going to answer 7 questions in this 7-card spread that will be released on Sundays. And the questions are, what the hell is happening? Why the hell is this happening? What the hell am I missing? How the hell do I feel about this? What the hell should I not do? What the hell can I do? And where the hell is this going? So we're going to get a good shuffle in here. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you like this channel, if you like this series. I am still doing daily, so be on the lookout for those. And I do appreciate all the feedback that we get. And one more good riffle, and we should be good to go with this. I'm getting two even stacks, but this is just going to be a collective reading. So whenever you find it, it's timeless. And there will be a playlist linked below if you would like to go through some of the other what the hell readings, but this is the first one, so thank you for taking a chance on it. And here we go. And that wants to, we're not going to do that. Too big of a stack, and we are not going to start this series off with that kind of mess. It can be patient and work with us. So every time I've done a trial on this reading, the first card that comes out is Judgment too. So that's what was on the top of the stack that reversed itself in the middle of the deck. And we're going to give it a little bit better of a chance to not be that card. It's a little suspicious that it's been that card every time that I've done this. So if you're looking for some other kind of influence, some other kind of input, you know what that is. You know what the card is, and you can feel free to peruse the meanings of the Justice card if that tickles your fancy. So here we go. What the hell? Episode 1, right? What the hell is happening? And I will get the lighting situation fixed at some point, but there's still a little bit of blowout. And but our first card is the Two of Wands, and I do want to get everything in frame here, so as much as possible anyway. With the Two of Wands in reverse, it's almost like you're setting a goal, but you may not be sure exactly why you're setting it or what you're going to end up with whenever you get there. As much as you may be playing it safe right now, playing it safe could be what's causing all this chaos in your life too. So I'm really drawn to reiterate that just because you're used to it does not mean it's okay. Just because you're used to being treated a certain way, being around certain people, being around a certain energy does not mean that it's okay. And it could be time for you to start reassessing what kind of effect this is actually having on you. I know we all can't help those situations that we find ourselves in, but if you have an opportunity to not see things the way that you've been seeing them, it may behoove you to stop staying stuck because you're kind of indoctrinated, groomed to believe that this is okay behavior. Because if you're not okay with it, then it's not okay behavior. Card 2 for what the hell is why the hell is this happening? The Ten of Wands. I believe that you may have been picking up too many burdens that were not yours to begin with, and it's just you having a lack of a lack of your own goals, a lack of your own, point where you want to go, what you want to get out of something, is likely because you're used to picking up the slack for everybody else. And normally whenever I see this card, whether it's in the upright or in the reverse like it is here, it's you acknowledging that you're burnout. That whenever you're done dealing with all this stuff for everybody else, you don't know where you're going. You don't know what your purpose is. You don't know what you want. So you start kind of looking for what other people want or need you to do. If they don't need to do it themselves, then they don't need you to do it. And burnout will affect you a lot of crazy ways. So it may be time for you to step back and just start saying no. Start saying no and walking towards, if you don't know what you want, walking towards a 0 point where you can meet your basic needs and then go from that as a starting point. Because I think there's a lot of this where you may not have been able to meet your basic needs. And with burnout, with some of these situations with burnout, you could also be facing the fact that, oh, well, you're doing this, 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 and this for other people. So then they try to make you feel guilty for, quote unquote, picking up your slack while you're busy cleaning up their mess. Do not be afraid to look that one in the face. And for card 3, what are you missing? What the hell are you missing out of this whole thing? And a 2 of Swords does not want to stop coming up. Even whenever I'm doing dailies, I think I get that for at least one sign every day. And now that I say it, it's almost as though this is kind of passing the buck energy. Like you're trying to be a mediator, you're trying to be in the center of this and kind of give it a focal point, something to bounce off of to come to a level meeting point. However, once you get one side to agree, the other side doesn't want to agree anymore. And it just keeps being this back and forth thing that's causing a lot of emotion in you, where you could have a lot of difficulty dealing with that at the moment. I'm also seeing that you could be dealing with someone who could have started this by bringing an issue to you, and you're like, okay, I can help you solve that. I can help you deal with that. And then they tell you this information, and then you approach the other party and you say, hey, what's going on with this? So and so said this. And, is there any way you could come to a meeting point, a center point, some kind of middle ground to where you guys could get over this and handle this issue, because it would really be better for you two if you work this out. It could have something to do with kids and kids or property or a pet, because it feels like there's another energy that's being kind of jostled around in this too. And this other person is saying, well, this is my rebuttal and this is how this went for me. I don't care what they're saying. And then you go back to the other person, and every time you go back to this other person, it's like this keeps being the issue. And every time you go back to this other person, they add more information to it. It's like they're not telling you the whole story. They're not telling you the whole story for a reason. And I don't think you're ever going to get all of it out of them at the same time. And it seems like there's some part that you're playing in this where you're the mediator, like a grandparent where the kids are getting dropped off there, or a friend where the kids are getting dropped off there and the other person is coming to pick them up. Um, Something like that. And it doesn't have to be kids, it could be anything. But That's the main thing that's coming out. It could also have something to do with a financial situation, a property. But overall, the main thing that you're missing with that is that someone isn't being upfront with everything. And I am trying to keep these around 20 minutes. So now, how do you feel about this? How the hell do you feel about this? Like, you don't have options that are viable because anything that comes up, you can't take advantage of. You can't enter into any of this because you're sitting here with this Two of Swords energy where it's like, well, I feel like I have to be there for this. And I don't want to make plans to go do things or to go out, or because it seems like you may be a more social person. That's why you're willing to. I'm getting a lot of strong Libra energy here, or you're willing to talk and talk it out, kind of work through everything and try to make things go through with communication. But whenever you're not being presented with everything up front, then that's not your fault. And you could have been taking, and cards keep falling out. We're not doing sex today. We're just not. You already have your, because that's the only singular card that popped out for your, what should I not do about this? But yeah, with the Seven of Cups, it's almost as though you can't even look at anything, even if it's serious, because you won't be able to do anything with it. Like, it's great if you got offered your dream job right now, but you would not be in the position to be able to take care of it because of this other responsibility that doesn't feel like it's yours. Even though you want to move through, even though you want to move past all of this. And for what the hell should I not do? This is the cautionary card, so what should you avoid doing right now? You should avoid ending something. And I want to say that the thing that you should avoid is avoid looking at this. Avoid ending your own path, your own trajectory because of somebody else. At some point, you have to understand and draw a boundary that some of this is not my problem, and you're acting like it's my responsibility whenever it's yours. And I think that's what this is talking about. You do not need to end your own trajectory, your own destiny, in order to pick up the nasty bits of somebody else's. There has been a transformation, a change that you've been wanting to make in your life, and that's kind of what you need to change back to focusing on. What the hell can you do about this? Somebody else is going to see you putting yourself first as an overindulgence. But it's the difference between living your life or taking on their responsibility where it seems like they've been the ones that have been overindulging. Because I don't really see them sitting there working or trying to work through a problem, trying to find a different solution. I don't see them doing that. And you may need to be the one that confronts that. And because you're not dealing with them, they could think that you're isolating yourself, that you're pulling away from everybody, like, oh, well, so and so is in depression and, they're not hanging out with anybody. It's not that you're not hanging out with anybody, you're not hanging out with them. Because every time you hang out with them, they give you something to do. They give you a responsibility of theirs that they don't want to deal with. They give you something to weigh you down that is kind of being passed off as allowing you to be involved in their life and involved in, they're passing it off as having a relationship whenever it kind of feels like they are one-way street energy. like, yeah, I'm going to pass my kid off over here, and then I'm going to go party out on the town because there's a possible business opportunity, or there's a, like a bar owner that might give me a job over here, but I kind of have to schmooze him first, or, um, you know what, and this is going to be your last card. I'm not going to be pulling any clarifiers for this, but I may in the future start pulling clarifiers for these cards. Where the hell is this going? There is a phrase I have heard a lot, and I think you may have too. It's quite possible that you're going to try and get yourself settled back on firm ground to where all of your bills are paid. Because it seems like it's not that you haven't had the funds to do this. It feels like you may have gotten out of track of what the schedule of your bills are. Like, paying late fees not because you don't have the money to pay the bill, but because you forgot to pay it, or you forgot to set up auto pay or something like that. And that's what's going on here. It feels like after you get back on your feet, you have like a week to yourself. You go on vacation from this whole situation for a minute, and you're refreshed. It's almost like there's a danger of you. There's two ways that I see this playing out with the Knight of Swords, guys. It's kind of like no one's coming to save you, so you need to save yourself. And remember, you just kind of got done doing that. You just got done pulling yourself out of a situation where you had to deal with somebody else's responsibilities. And what does a knight do? He is a sellsword. He is someone who goes and does things for the king or for whoever is paying him, whoever is allowing his allotment, whatever this is. And he's got the training, so he doesn't need instruction on what to do. He just needs to know where he needs to do it at. And that could be what you're feeling like. Like you have the skill, you have the knowledge, you have the ability. So it's like, okay, I'm refreshed. I'm going to go fix this whole situation, but I think that you're going to end up falling back into it again. And then you're going to be exhausted in about 3 or 4 months, and everything's going to start lapsing in your life again because it's like there's even more information that I haven't been given. And there's a lot that you don't know, and it really could be better for you to remove yourself from this situation because it really does feel like you could be seen as an interloper somehow from one of these two sides, even though one is inviting you in to help them with this. And that's what you may need to be aware of, is realize that you don't have a contract with anybody. I don't think that this is something that you're contractually obligated to deal with, and you're not being compensated for. So keep that in mind whenever moving forward with this situation. And thank you guys for tuning in to the very first episode of What the Hell. And I will see you guys next week or back for your dailies. Be sure to come back, keep an eye on the playlist, and good luck with whatever this is, because this seems like this is a lot of not your problem, but you're willing to help, and it's kind of you're somehow shooting yourself in your own foot. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.